At some point, you gotta take the first step in a breakup, which is to accept that it has ended and to and accept this is one of the things we talk about a lot. And one of the first things you need to do to heal from a breakup is accept that all relationships end, every single one, because they weren't working.
Welcome to The X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on. I'm Claire.
And I'm Janice. We are breakup coaches, here to help you beat your breakup,
heal your broken heart,
and move on to an amazing, abundant life.
Hello. We are so excited to be back officially recording in the new year, our first episode. Last week's episode we pre-recorded. Shh, don't tell anyone. So we are back in the new year and ready to dive into another episode with you guys. So
ready to help you beat your breakup. Let's do this.
Yeah.
We hope everyone had a great break. I know we're now a couple of weeks into the new year, but I really hope that it was a special time and that people are ready for another interesting year, which is bound to be.
I'm sure there's lots of surprises coming for us that we can't possibly anticipate. Hopefully good things.
Would you like to connect with us more? We would love for you to join us on our Instagram. It is very easy to find, X-Files Podcast, and that is where you can find out what we are up to, and that is where you can hit us up if you would like information on coaching and working with us one-on-one and getting more personalized support. So come over and join us.
Yeah. Speaking of personalized support in the DMs, our content for this episode is mostly coming from those two places. So we keep running across the same kind of things. There's like a few phrases that we have heard a lot.
Mindset traps, so to speak, I think you could say, when it comes to breakups, and also for me, things that I hear really on when I'm working with people one-on-one that just they come up really consistently. Every breakup is different. That being said, we do hear some of the same things over and over again. So if you're now in 2022 and you're still struggling with your breakup from last year, maybe it's because of one of these mindsets or thoughts.
Yes. So with that, let's just start off strong. Our first thought is, quote, "I keep hoping they'll come back," or "I want to leave the door open for them to come back."
Yes. I'm surprised even people who reach out to us for support or who are listening to the podcast still, once you start communicating with them, they have somewhere in the back of their mind that they think it might still work out. So which is kind of, I guess you could say it's counterintuitive and just, it's not productive. If on one hand you're hoping to heal from this, and then on the other hand, you're hoping that somehow it's still going to work out, you're really stuck in a place where you can't really move forward. Really, literally, I mean, there's you're stuck. There's no way forward if half of you is still in the past.
Yeah. And I think it's, it's a way to feel better in the moment, just incrementally better than you have been feeling. But it's also bypassing the grief that you do have to go through, that you did lose someone and they are really lost. They're not coming back. And I have a cat. So, they are really lost. And by kind of holding on to this hope and this thought that maybe they'll come back, or even on a broader scale, maybe in a few years we'll have both grown and we'll both be better people and it'll work out then. You're stopping yourself from having the necessary grieving process.
Yeah. I mean, holding on to the hope that something will come together in a few years. I mean, that's a lifetime. That's a
Yeah.
long
A
time to
lot
be
of things can
holding
happen.
on. Yes. And I also see what I'm especially surprised with is people who don't want to stop the social media contact and the interactions because they're saying, but what if they change their mind about the breakup and I've blocked them on social media? Or what if, we go no contact and then they decide, and I love that. At some point, you got to take the first step in a breakup, which is to accept that it has ended and to and accept this is one of the things we talk about a lot. And one of the first things you need to do to heal from a breakup is accept that all relationships end, every single one, because they weren't working. And you can't stay in a relationship that isn't working, no matter what the circumstances of the breakup, no matter what the circumstances of the relationship, no matter the, dynamics in the last few weeks before you broke up. Every single breakup is because the relationship wasn't functional for one reason or another. And if I love to play this game actually, and I would love to have some sort of episode or something where, you gave me 10 lists of circumstances about breakups, and I would tell you exactly where the hole was and exactly why it wasn't working. I've never met a single person where I thought, that relationships, should have survived. There wouldn't have been a breakup if it was working.
Yeah. And also, like, if this is you and you're like, I'm feeling so called out right now.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
I'm glad. Hopefully this helps you.
First of all, welcome. Yes. But also, like these thoughts, even if intellectually you're like agreeing with us right now, like, okay, I guess that is probably a little ridiculous of me. Like they will keep coming up because you've thought it before, that pathway is there. It's what you do with it afterwards, and whether you go, I'm actually not subscribing to that thought, like, thanks brain, or whether you go into a spiral of being like, I need to wait for them and make sure that I'm, reachable by phone, social media, all of these things, in case they want to come back. And, one initial step may be to say, okay, like, I am open to whatever the future holds. If we do both change and grow and things happen in the future, whatever, but I have to live my life as if I don't know whether that'll happen or not. I have to live my life and actually just like leave myself open to other opportunities, other people, and my own growth and healing. You can't stay frozen in time. That's actually a great way to prevent you from ever being able to get back with that person anyway. Because if you haven't grown or changed, then the same thing's going to happen. You're just going to break up again. So
it's really unattractive as well. It's just the opposite of the type of energy you want to be putting out as a newly single person.
Yeah, like it's, yes, grieve. Like, we're definitely not shaming anyone for feeling shitty after a breakup.
Well,
like, don't want to do that, but like staying in that place and keeping yourself in that place longer than you would have really had to have been, that is, it looks sad. It's a bad look. It's a bad look.
Agreed. I mean, even if you just use that as your motivation, I mean, people pick up on this type of energy. And I'm going to shift gears here, but I just want to put it out there. It's not that likely that if you got back together, it would work out. There are examples out there. I know of a couple, but the on again, off again pattern is destructive. It is toxic. And I mean, in my experience, what I've seen is that each time a couple gets back together, it lasts shorter and shorter. And it's just, statistically, I don't know if that helps you, embrace that it's not that likely to work out, but, it's just the facts. I mean, and we could go into all of the reasons why, but it's really time to look forward rather than backward. And no matter how much, you think that you might have changed or you want to recommit, it's just, once you get into this pattern with someone, it's not a good one.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And you also, I just want to bring up, you get treated how you treat yourself. And so if you're showing the universe, your ex, all of the people around you that you don't honestly don't respect yourself enough to say, hey, if you choose to walk away from me, you don't get a second chance.
Completely.
And
I know, as someone who has been in an abusive relationship, one thing that is common in abusive dynamics is each time that you quote take the person back or get back together, you are showing this person how much you are willing to accept and how much you will put up with,
how far they can push you.
And sometimes, not always. I think just generally it doesn't work no matter how great both of you are, but sometimes if it's particularly toxic, this can allow it to get worse and worse.
It's just I guess it's one of the things that happens with boundaries is a lot of people think they're setting boundaries, but then they don't maintain them afterwards. They're like, you broke my boundary. Oh, well.
Oh, well. And what I've seen from, particularly abusive types of people is that they also learn, how to use their language each time to kind of rope a person back in. And that can be the really seductive part. Is their grandiose promises, but it's words, it's lines.
So that thought, it's a tricky one. I've definitely been there. So no hate, no shame. We're just here to speak the truth to you guys and be your older sisters that are hey, snap out of it.
Well, yes, definitely. And I mean, let's just be realistic. If you're listening to this podcast, it's because I'm assuming you want to feel better after a breakup. And so go back and listen to one of our early episodes, the 10 breakup commandments. And one of our 10 breakup commandments is, in order to feel better, you will accept that things are really over. It's one of the very first things that you must do. Sometimes we have gray areas on this show and sometimes we have black and white, and there's no way to move forward if you can't accept that it's over. And it's painful. It's really painful, because I think if you're stuck in this will we get back together mindset, it's because you haven't released the person. And it's that releasing and letting go of someone that is so excruciating. And that is a part of the acceptance. And it is definitely painful, but I promise you, it also means that you're going to start to heal. We have loved creating free and accessible healing resources for people around the world who are looking for support on their breakups, broken hearts, and moving on journeys. Each day, we receive DMs from many of you who have let us know the positive impact X-Files is making in your life. Our vision for the second year of our show is something that we both feel so completely. We are looking forward to continuing to share useful resources each week, but also expanding our offerings to help people go more deeply with their healing and growth.
Part of our vision is expanding the connection with our community. And to do that, we are thrilled to be launching the X-Files Patreon. Growing this aspect of our community will allow us to keep creating great content for everyone each week, and also start developing even more healing resources and support. We would love for you to be part of the first group of the X-Files patrons. So head to the link in the show notes now to sign up for either the $5 or the $10 level. And we will both be looking forward to connecting with you very soon.
Ready to move on to number 2?
Yeah, let's do it.
second thought that might be keeping you stuck from moving on past your breakup is, I have regrets about how I acted. I could have prevented this. I now realize what I did.
Yeah.
Regrets.
Oh my God, I've
Tricky.
been there so hard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like there's many things. Like I talk about dumpster fire a lot because like it was just such a great learning experience, right? So I looking back, I see how I was reacting instead of acting. There were like things I did that were really detrimental to myself and like probably to him as well. And I have to give myself the grace, I guess, to like move into our answer to this is like I had to give myself to the grace of being like, yeah, like that Claire, she didn't know what she was doing. She had none of the knowledge that I have now. Like she just she was doing the best she could, honestly. Even though now my current Claire, like first of all, I probably wouldn't have even been in that relationship, but like I would have acted very differently. But I can't like judge my past actions on what I would do now today, even if like the lessons you're learning about how you acted, even if that's only a week afterwards that you start realizing, and the pin in that, because I guarantee you the lessons you realize at 1 week will change after 2 weeks, and then after 3 weeks, and after 3 months, and
and also once you
etc.
learn once you have these thoughts, like you have to give yourself time to like readjust your life and readjust how you show up in relationships. You can't just go back a week later and say, oh, I've got the magic key. Let's get back together. And I just completely know how to be a different partner a week later.
Yeah. Same for if someone comes back to you with that. No, they haven't changed. They haven't changed. Don't be their like beat up, abused training wheels that they eventually take off with some other girl. Like, don't do it.
So I actually think that it can be good in some regards to have thoughts like this because,
we are evolving.
What was that?
We are evolving.
Yes, exactly. So your breakup is an opportunity for so many things. And one of these things is self-reflection.
Yes.
And there is a positive and productive way to self-reflect. And there's a way to self-reflect that leads to, depression and staying stuck and lots of destructive things that are going to keep you from healing. So it's good that you're having these thoughts.
Yeah.
And it's time to figure out how to use them. So one of my favorite tips for people, if they are coming to me and saying, but I didn't do this and now I realize, and that is, instead of saying, I now realize, or what I wish I would have done is to sit down and maybe get out your journal or maybe have a coaching session with me and say instead, what I will do differently next time is, or excuse me, what I will do differently in my next relationship is. Not next time with the same person.
With the same person now.
Kind of impossible. And so think about the things that you've learned that you will take into your next relationship, including the relationship that you have with yourself and maybe someone else in the future. A lot of this is just about reframing these things and using them productively instead of using them to keep stuck. And that's one way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm not going to dive super deep into this right now, but with meditation and like visualization, it's theorized that the brain doesn't know like hugely the difference between what really happens and what plays in your head, basically.
Okay.
And so, another exercise you could try is, get comfortable, get into your meditation and rewrite that final scene where you still both end up broken up, but where you got to say the things that you wanted to say. You got to apologize for the things you did wrong. And like rewrite that final goodbye in your head. And that might help kind of close that loop in your brain, because your brain will think, oh, wow, that happened. Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. Little mindfulness hacks go a long way when it comes to it staying stuck.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just really important that you do use your breakup to look forward. You know, every day. I mean, we all do things, maybe even every day, that we would have done differently. Who knows?
Yeah.
But
100%.
you know, every day, you know, we have an opportunity to dwell on that or look forward. And you know, being forward thinking is so much more empowering, because you actually have power over your future.
Yeah.
You know, like that is what we have control over. We don't have control over what we did in the past. All we have control over is how we're going to use the lessons.
Yeah.
So Claire, I know that this is a topic that you enjoy talking about, and that is the fact that we're different person now. Our ex is a different person now, kind of. And we were both different people in the past. And so even with all of this knowledge and all of this learning about your patterns and what do we often hear? Learning about your attachment style, you know, a couple of weeks later, you know, none of this new knowledge can change the fact that you're a different person 2 weeks later.
Yeah, and so are they. You know, some people are very good at staying stuck. I will give them that. But chances are, your ex is not the same person that they were when you last saw them or when you were together. And so, you know, that person, like a lot of times breakups get compared to deaths. And like in a way, yeah, the person you dated has died because they are not the same anymore. So, you know, like you can't, I guess, going back to our first question thought, you can't actually go back to be with the same person because they don't exist anymore.
It's I mean, it's just not reality. And with all of this knowledge that you now think you have about yourself, or you do, I'm putting that out there, very judgy. Okay. All of the knowledge that you now have about yourself and your patterns. What I learned in my marriage was like, I very much felt like I matured and evolved as a person, and my ex, that was very confronting for him. And my point bringing this up is, now that you have this knowledge about yourself and you've grown, which is great, you actually don't know how your ex would have or can respond to this evolution. And you know what? Sometimes they don't respond to it just in a way that's going to make for a productive, loving, functional relationship. You don't know that at all.
Yeah, not at all. They, you know, they might have no interest in being with someone who has come to the conclusions that you have.
Yes. So, and it doesn't take one person growing in a relationship. It takes two people who want to grow.
Yeah. And growing in a similar direction too.
Got it.
You can grow separately into different things that are totally incompatible. All right. I think we got that one.
We beat it. We beat it to death. Okay. So thought number 3. Oh, I'm also going to try and keep my cool about this one. And that is a thought that I hear so much is, I want to be nice, or we see the good girl mentality. And and how this plays out in the breakup setting, I guess you could say, is I don't want to cut ties with my ex because I want to be nice, or I'm keeping contact with them because I want to be nice, and other ways that this shows up. And not a good way to look forward, especially if you're listening to X-Files and are trying to get help on feeling better. But it's common, right, Claire?
Yes, it is.
All right. So as I was saying, this is probably the number one thing that I see that holds people back from healing from a breakup, especially in the early days of working together. I probably have most of my sessions with new clients where there's some type of this dynamic playing out. So on one hand, I'm sitting and talking with someone and being told that people want to move on and that they're stuck in a really painful pattern with communicating with their ex and basically living in agony over not being able to be with them or knowing that they can't be with them, but just, how do I get past how can I get to the point where communicating with my ex isn't painful?
Yeah.
And then I hear that. And so then, we explore it and we break it down. And I'm like, well, why are you doing it in the first place?
Yeah.
If it's causing you so much pain. And I hear this, people just say, I just want to be nice. Or I've been surprised to hear people say, I don't want there to be anyone out there who's mad at me. Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Or
no.
I also hear, I want to be nice in case, they want to get back together, or I want to not shut things off with them because I want to be the bigger person in the breakup. So yeah, I get that you might think you're coming from a evolved place with this, but if we really broke all of those statements down, the problem is that you're not at all putting yourself first. You're putting the other person first, or you're putting off how you're coming across first,
which is
rather than what's actually best for you.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people are like, yeah, am I not supposed to put everyone else in the world before me? And it's like, no, I think as a society, generally, especially women, have been conditioned to take responsibility for everyone else's feelings, which is not actually the more highly evolved perspective to be responsible for everyone else's feelings in your life.
No amounts.
This is, like we all ages of people date and everything. We're definitely an 18 plus show.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I would even go I'd go a little
higher than 18 plus. But I want to say is that they're an adult. If you're dating, you should feel like you are at least on your way to being an adult. So like if they're an adult, they can take care of themselves. They can, they can take responsibility for their own feelings. You don't need to tiptoe around them when you're not in a relationship anymore. You have to believe in their capability to take care of themselves and know what's right for them.
Well, and now that you're not together anymore, you each need a primary support person.
Yeah.
That is not each other.
Yeah.
It's fundamental.
Yeah. And a lot of times this comes up with my clients and in the DMs when like a lot of breakups happen with kind of this label of they were dealing with mental health issues and they had to focus on that, and therefore like that ties into the I have to be nice, as in like I have to not push them further into a mental health issue than they already are. And it's like, well, like, yes, don't be, saying and doing things that are going to be triggering for your ex, but staying away from them, honestly, and not making contact, that is giving them that gift of being nice to them, of letting them focus on their mental health. But I think it's like this concern that if you don't like pop in every once in a while and let them know that they are loved and they have someone they could reach out to if they ever needed to, like that they'll be in danger, and it's
it's also a really easy way to convince yourself that it's okay to stay connected with your ex. And it can be used as an excuse, which I totally get. We don't want to disconnect from people, and these are the types
Yeah.
of stories that help us feel good about staying in a kind of unhealthy pattern.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, no amount of concern for your ex and no amount of trying to prevent them from getting mad and no amount of putting their feelings above what's best for you, it will help you.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? Like, this perspective, honestly, is like infantilizing your ex. Basically, it's saying,
Yeah.
I don't trust that they have the autonomy or ability to take care of themselves and be okay without me. And that's crazy.
What
Like,
about also maybe this? Look, I agree. And then what's related is this feeling of self-importance,
yeah.
that putting yourself in this role as,
Yeah.
I'm the one that they need, feels good. It probably felt really amazing when you were together. And that's
Yeah.
a hard thing to let go of. I get that. We want to feel significant to people we care about.
Yeah, exactly. But this is the time to be that person for yourself. I mean, always, you should always be that person for yourself, but also, maintaining this connection, you're stopping new things from coming in as well. Someone who's going to
True, true.
100% appreciate the time and listening skills and all of those things that you bring to the table. So yeah, like even when I worry about an ex, like I know that they have the capability to take care of themselves without me. And honestly, there was nothing I hated more than that one ex who swore he couldn't live without me while actively trying to fuck up my life. Like
Yep.
I think it's, they know their lives best and they're fully formed, functional people with their own support communities, and they don't fucking need me. So
Yes, totally true. And plus, I mean, you're right, Claire. And I love your story when it comes to this. And I also know that the ending of the story for you was realizing that it was keeping you stuck and realizing that stopping trying to be friends and stop and this grammatically does not sound correct to me. Stopping, this effort that the two of you had to stay supporting each other was what finally got you able to move on.
Yeah. And to the point of like making someone mad, because I was thinking mostly about like making someone sad or like lonely or whatever. But to making someone mad, like just know, even with friendships or coworkers or whatever, like you will inevitably be the villain in other people's stories. Like there are some people walking around out there who are like, fuck that person. Because you made a mistake or you didn't even realize that they feel this way about you, but you cannot be a saint in everyone's eyes. It's literally impossible. And so the more you start making decisions based on your own morality and ethics, what's going to be best for you while also being kind to as many people as you can, but like kind of holding that standard for yourself. And when that standard conflicts with someone else's story of what they need or whatever, like be the villain, like you're doing the best you can, and
but you don't have control over how someone else takes it,
perceives you. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So do you
Right.
So thought or theme number 3 that might be keeping you stuck in healing from your breakup. This is all related, and it is, I will never feel like that again. What we had was so good. I thought they were the one. It was so magical.
Yeah. There are parts of it, I'm sure, that were magical.
Yes, but if it was so good, then why has one of you decided to walk away from it? Magical relationships take 2 people who want to be in them, and not one person who really wants to be in it and one person that walks away. It might have been magical at one time, but it ain't no more.
Yeah. And if one person walks away because like it was an amazing relationship, literally everything was perfect, and they walked away because they like to self-sabotage,
That's
That wasn't a
imperfect.
perfect relationship. Like,
That is horrible.
yeah,
No.
I don't want to be like tied to like a self-sabotager, especially if, you know, like a lot of our listeners are like wanting marriage and wanting like a lawful, like codified commitment.
Right.
Someone who self-sabotages themselves is probably not going to be a great partner in that
Yeah.
respect.
Mhm.
So, I mean,
Yep.
I'm laughing. It's not funny, but you know,
Well, I mean, maybe this is going to help someone. Look, you want to be
Yeah.
with someone who's going to choose you and who's going to choose the relationship. And look, if you thought it was great, I hope that helps you to kind of shift things. And
Yeah.
then even more than the actual like practical aspects of the relationship, I would say that this racing thought or this ongoing thought, it's again about a basic, mindset reframe.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think this is a good opportunity to learn about mindfulness and learn how to redirect your thoughts, because I mean, we can just sit here and talk about someone not choosing you and talk about the actual things that happen in the relationship, for the next hour, but it's not really going to, change anything. What you need to change is your thoughts and stop thinking this way.
Yeah.
And so can you pick an affirmation to help you? Is there something else that you can think about? Are there tons and tons of resources online as far as mindfulness goes? Mindfulness goes. Yes, there are so many resources to help you. And, we often also hear, I can't help it. I can't stop. I can't stop. That again is something to stop saying to yourself,
You're conditioning yourself to not stop.
Completely. Yeah. I have tons of different mindfulness things that I use. And sometimes, especially if I'm in bed, I mean, I know that's hard for lots of people, you start thinking about something. And, I have kind of an ongoing unideal situation with my immediate family. And I will often just start thinking of myself in a garden. I am such a flowers person. And so I'll just start, bringing in images of flowers instead of thinking about the conflict. And it's just kind of something that I've learned. And for me, that helps. It took a lot of practice. And I think I'm, maybe a little bit farther along in this journey than some people, but learn what works for you and just stop thinking this way.
Yeah. And, a reframe could be like, I can't wait to learn all the reasons why this wasn't the perfect relationship. Like for me, when I left my ex-fiance, I felt like a crazy person because I was like, what am I doing? This was like the perfect relationship. Like, what am I doing? And it's been in the years since then, I've learned all the reasons, all the things I was missing out on by being in that relationship. Like all the new things, like just like literally so many things that like if I had the opportunity to turn back time and go back, like I couldn't, because I'd be missing out on too much. So it is like you can hold the two things at the same time. You can hold the fact that you miss this person and you miss all the things that were good, while also being open to all the good things you're going to gain from being single, from meeting new people in the future, from exploring your body in new ways, exploring your mind in new ways.
I was just going to say, you're the one. They weren't the one. You're the one. And if you can get started on this self-love, sexy single journey, there's nothing but positivity. And that's where the magic is. That's where the magic is the relationship that you're going to develop with yourself. If you can become your own soulmate rather than thinking, looking outward for completion is, there's never, a destination. When it comes to that, you'll always be seeking. And if you can look for all of that inside, I promise you, there's great things waiting for you. And I promise you, that is what you're going to take into a relationship with a healthy, wonderful, wonderful person in the future.
Yeah.
Who's going to choose you because you're so magnetic.
Yeah.
And because you're not holding on to your ex. I mean,
you're
let's
not,
just
yeah,
be real
like,
here.
let's clean up the messy emotional ties before we start dating again.
Completely.
All right.
I love that so many people who listen want relationships. I think it's a great goal.
It's totally natural. I totally
this is
agree.
how to get there.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Fine, but I mean, really, you got to start somewhere, and it starts, I mean, energetically, you can tell that, someone has someone that they're still attached to. So
yeah,
and give yourself the year to get it out of your system.
yeah. And also, like, I know it's hard to like make the choice to be single and focus on yourself right now and like actually healing instead of just distracting yourself. But think about it. Literally everything we do that is good for us is hard in some respect. It's hard to go to the gym. It's hard to like lift weights. It's not like easy. It's hard to meditate. It's hard to find the time to do those things. Like all of these things are hard in some respect, and you kind of have to be the adult to your inner child and say, we're going to have short-term discomfort for long-term betterment of ourselves.
Yep. I mean, they're hard. What I would say is that these are all things that are hard in the beginning.
Yes.
But learning how to tackle them, there's great things waiting for you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like all the things I talked about, they're the things that you eventually start going like, oh, I never want to go a day without this because it makes such a big difference. Yeah. So yeah. And just also realize like for when you're like, I'll never feel like that again. And especially like maybe the first few dates you go on and you're starting to meet new people and you're like, I don't feel the same about them as I felt about my ex. It's like, well, first of all, you just met them, so you don't know them yet. And every love is different. Like even once you do get to know someone and you do start forming like deep attachment to them, it's gonna feel different. It could be different because it's not this crazy up and down anymore, so it doesn't feel like there's as many sparks. It doesn't feel intense. Like, and so you start questioning like, oh, I think I love this person, but it's not like crazy like my ex, and it's like, yeah, good. Start, changing your expectations from being like it should be this way to being every person is different. I am going to feel differently about them and with them. So stop trying to recreate that love. And also, like, you've now had more experiences. You've now gone through probably a dark night of the soul. Like, you're not naive anymore. You're not going to fully believe someone the first time they tell you that you're going to be together forever. You know, like, you're not going to be like, oh my God, you're right. You're going to be like, but maybe we won't. And then, the problem happens when you start second guessing that question. And instead of being like, no, I'm older and wiser now, of course, I'm not just falling head over heels without thinking about it.
Yeah.
So
your relationships will be easier. Your breakups will be easier if you can, I guess, adopt a little bit of, maturity. About just what it means to be an adult in relationships. And that is that sometimes they end.
Sometimes they end.
Yep.
And worst comes to the worst, and you're the really cool aunt or uncle who's lived all over the world and had many affairs.
You're so sweet.
And done some amazing things and had all these wild chapters. And then they come to like the Thanksgiving dinner and you're like, they're the coolest person here. So
Yep. Because absolutely, you will never regret developing the relationship that you have with yourself. And we hope that people use this year to do it. We look forward to being a part of you learning to do that. We would love to work with you one-on-one to do that. We would like to start dropping little hints that we'll have group opportunities to do that this year. And we are so excited to be a part of your journey.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you again next week. I think you're gonna really like this coming episode.
I'm excited. We hope you like this one as well.
Yeah. So
let us know. Leave us a review if you love it on Apple Podcasts. We are still sending out X-Files stickers to anyone who screenshots us a copy of their Apple Podcast review. So beginning of the year, we've got some really cute stickers. Hit us up if you leave us a review, help others find us, pay it forward.
Big news though, Spotify introduced a star, like a 5-star ranking system. So if you want to do that too, that's
we
cool.
would love
we just
it.
know
we
that
got a bunch.
Apple is it's the one that pushes out to everything.
So we're not sending stickers for the stars, but we hope that you leave us a star. But we still absolutely love those reviews. And plus it gives you a chance to tell us what you think of the podcast, so that that's a little present to us. We send you a sticker, but we get
a lot from it too, because we like to read them in our low moments when we're like, oh God, we have so much to do.
Well, I mean, you just spent 45 minutes listening to this, so go and spend 3 minutes leaving us a review. We'd be stoked. And most of all, you've got this.
You've got this, and we'll speak to your ears again very soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to X-Files, a podcast about breakups, broken hearts, and moving on.
If you liked this episode, please help others find us by leaving a review on Apple Podcasts or by following the show on Spotify.
And if you'd like to connect more with us and learn about breakup coaching, find us on Instagram at X-Files Podcast.